I was talking to my high school coaches here, Joe Schoenfeld, who's one of the great high school coaches, I think, in Ohio history. He's been the head coach at Elder for 30-something, 35, 40 years. How many years, Hosey?
Years where you were there was my first year.
Yes, 30-something. So anyway, and he's a guy that's so stinking smart, and it was just so cool to have him behind the scenes in the locker room, and we're walking out, and I go, you got anything? And he goes, and he's the most humble dude in the world, and he goes, when you get caught in those traps in the backcourt, he says, you might want to try to shorten the passing distance because you're two guys that suck up the trap. They were kind of stretching the floor too much, and it made it hard on that. So I made that little adjustment in the huddle, and I think we were much, much better handling the pressure in the second half. So that's a big shout-out to my mentor, my big brother, Coach Schoenfeld, for helping me out there. But my mentor, Skip Prosser, used to call games like that tractor pulls. And I felt like it was a little bit like that. It was ugly. I think the stat sheet looks a little ugly, but at the end of the day, I'm proud of our guys for figuring out a way and finding a way to win. That's a very athletic team. They're really good at what they do. Their system is. I just believe any program, any good program, any good team has an identity. They have a thing. They have an it, and their deal is to disrupt and not give up a floorboard and press 94 feet and really take you out of kind of what you normally do. There was 0 set plays run the entire game because they sort of don't let you do it. And they come and trap you and you throw out of it, and then you got numbers and you got to go make sound plays. And I think for the most part we did. Scored a lot of points in the first half. I don't know. I just think the pace of the game, the ferocity of the game, I thought both teams were exhausted at the end, to tell you the truth. It was like a prize fight. And they struggled to make shots late. And we struggled to make shots late. And I think it was a lot of kind of spaghetti legs a little bit. That's a great college basketball game, especially for the first one of the year. I give Matt, my athletic director, Matt Roberts, a ton of credit. Brian Kloman does our schedule. You play a big-time game like that. A lot of times, you could schedule not a cupcake, but you can schedule not that type of game. But I think it was great for the city. The place was absolutely electric. 5,000 and something people that were there were a major factor in the game. And when it comes down to a basket like it did, that matters. And so you could very easily say the extra little oomph was how hostile of an environment that Iona walked into. Students were off the charts. The crowd was into it at the right times and willed our guys to victory. So a big shout-out to our city nation.
You talk about no set plays. What did you say about Ante there late with those big buckets?
Yeah, I mean, you look really smart as a coach when you have good players and then you just get the ball in his hands, There wasn't a lot of Joe Schoenfeld and John Wooden to that. It was like, man, get the ball to Ante and let him make a play. He's a really, really good player. I thought all of our front court guys, statistically, Frankie, played well. Benny played well. Ante played well. And, you might look at the guards and say, like, statistically they struggled. I wouldn't say that. I mean, they had Herculean effort, to deal with the tsunami, if you will, of all their traps and all their pressure. And, I felt like those guys handled it really well.
What happened with Ben, and do you think he needs to pull a Rick Hamilton and just wear the mask the whole year?
Benny, I think he likes it. Benny, gosh, man, what a tough kid. I mean, he got his nose shattered about a week and a half ago. I give a lot of credit to our athletic training staff. Kate does a ridiculous job. I mean, she, usually those masks to get molded to your face, it'll take 5, 6, 7 days, something like that. She found somebody in Charlotte that would do it in 3 hours, and she got him there in the morning at 8 a.m. They had the mask by 10. He was back in practice at 3. You know, that's a high-level effort, and little things like that behind the scenes people don't know about and don't appreciate, but the wind at our back that we have from our support staff and people like Kate is very, very influential to us being successful.
What about Kobe? I thought he gave you some really valuable minutes there.
Yeah, you know, Kobe is he's just such an instinctual basketball player. You know, he just has such a good feel and a read for the game. And, you know, a game like this is kind of in his wheelhouse a little bit. You know, the program he played for at the Division II level, Nova Southeastern, you know, they played a lot of pressing, running, trapping type things. So he was kind of, you know, comfortable in that. I thought, you know, our half-court defense, our one-on-one defense was pretty good. That's a team that just drives you. They put their head down and drive, and they got some strong dudes. And I thought for the most part we did a good job. I don't want to leave people out, but I just can, like, in my mind I can see Rain Smith. There were a couple plays where I looked at the staff and I go, man, like to see where he's come as a freshman defensively to where he is now. Is really cool and really exciting, and he takes pride in it. Because his freshman year, people would go, okay, who's Rain Garden? Okay, let's go at him. That cat was chesting people up on violent drives. He was beating them to spots on second moves. He was chesting them up on wall-ups, and I thought a lot of our guys were doing that as well. They make it hard because they tilt the floor, get downhill, get to the rim, and we did a pretty good job, I think, of keeping them off the free throw line. And that's hard to do because, you know, they drive, and drive some more.
A year ago, you relied a lot on the three-point shooting. And this year, I mean, tonight, it didn't have as much. It just proves that you win in different ways.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we got a really good shooting team. I don't even know exactly what the statistics are. But, you know, we got a lot of guys that can really, really fill it up. I mean, almost our entire roster. So I'm not concerned about that at all. In fact, I think that's one of our strengths.
Just the overall difference in mentality when you win that first game. Obviously, last year you had that tremendous streak at the beginning of the year. How different would it have been if you had lost the first one, you know, comparatively speaking?
Well, you know, when you win, the pizza tastes much better. The sun will be nice and brighter tomorrow morning. So, you know, it's fun when you win. Because we say all the time, you know how you spell fun? W-I-N. You know, but you never accept in victory what you wouldn't accept in defeat, right? So if we didn't win this game, it wouldn't be like, man, we're going and pouring over the tape trying to figure out, you know, what's broken. And we're doing the same thing now, even though we won by 2. We try to stay very, very consistent as a staff and as a team in our approach to our work. And there's a bunch of stuff to fix from tonight. But at the end of the day, to find a way and have the wherewithal and the toughness and the grit and the tenacity to grind out a win in a grind type game is something that our guys should be proud of, and I'm proud of them. Now it's on to Duquesne. They're very good. They're a top 75 team in the country. They're big, strong, physical, athletic, talented. We got to have a couple really good days of preparation. And we get to go up to the Naval Academy, which is really cool. It's one of the finest, greatest institutions on planet Earth. To experience that, and I get to spend time with another one of my mentors, who's Ed DeCellis, who's the head coach at the Naval Academy, which is a big reason why we're going up there and why we scheduled this game. And it'll be a really, really cool experience for our guys. I mean, think of things that are going around the world, and in the people in the military, whether it's, you know, Air Force, Navy, Army, that are out there putting their lives on the line every single day for our safety. It's really cool to go up there and see that firsthand and to honor them by playing at that hallowed institution.
I know the guys said it that they'll know more when they look at film and stuff, but what do you kind of think y'all need to clean up before that game or work on?
You know, one thing that bothered me a little bit is we lost the rebound battle. It wasn't by much. It was 40-39, but that doesn't happen to us very, very often at all. You know, our typical offensive rebounding percentages, we'll get somewhere in the neighborhood of 35-36% of our misses back. And I think we only got 27% of our misses back tonight. So, you know, improving our rebounding. And again, it was just such a muddy game. I got to go back and watch the tape, but there's a lot of things that we can improve on.
pretty big 2 nights with tonight and your Bengals last night.
Yeah, man, that was a huge, and just like the atmosphere was electric here at the 6 tonight. I don't know if you guys watched the game, but man, it was unbelievable. I mean, they had the stripe out, and Houday Nation was going crazy. Joe Burrow's healthy, and when he's healthy, he's like the second coming of Joe Montana. So look out, Bengals, Houday.
Pat, we appreciate it.
Safe travels.